Testing. Yes, we are back. It is time for the PulseWave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger Reports. So I have been reporting on the demise of the once leader of the free world, the United States of America, which is crumbling at the seams day by day. The U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights are being eradicated and removed from public space, along with the Judeo-Christian faith. The United States of America is becoming pagan, becoming satanic overnight, it seems. It is becoming communist, socialist, neo-Marxist in its politics overnight, it seems. Meanwhile, life goes on, the markets go on, and I'm here to talk to you about it. So this morning, I'm noticing that, this is day 2 now. We're coming off of that holiday weekend, Easter holiday weekend, Resurrection Sunday, and now Monday's already done, and here we are on Tuesday, and we have very light trading. Not a lot going on, very tight trading ranges in most assets. The only thing that's really making a little noise right now is the Bitcoin. Bitcoin Futures Composite Index is down 1,195 at 58,645. It did top out at 60,350 this morning, and the low so far is 57,750. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep it a buck. Hitting that 57 handle is a little concerning, all right? Just a little concerning. And the reason being is because we do have, on the Futures Composite Index anyway, we have a crash alert for today on the Futures Composite Index. However, on the Bitcoin, looking at the cash market, we don't have that. We have a continuation up pattern, okay? And the market did do a little bit of pulse waving before pulling back here. So I'm not really concerned so much on that tip. I don't like that 57 handle. We didn't get too long in the tooth in the 57 handle, but just touched it before reversing almost 100 points off of it. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm sorry, I said 100 points. I meant 1,000 points. I'm sorry. 1,000 points. Reversed 1,000 points off of it. So that's a good thing that it held, and the crash alert has not given us any downside production yet. So we're not getting any real downside production on the crash alert, which is a good thing. So that is giving us a sigh of relief. Because we haven't seen it. So sigh of relief, we're good there. Let me just pull up something. I'm see if I can first. Some things I want to show, and it's hard for me to do it. I don't know why it doesn't want to cooperate, but it is what it is. All right, let's just take a look at a couple of things here. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at our real-time Bitcoin here. All right, so Bitcoin, you can see how it's come off a little bit here. It's coming off a little bit, but you're still in a narrow trading range, okay? So we have this consolidation pattern going back to here, this bar here. We've just been moving sideways, little spike ups on an intraday basis. You got, spike up here, spike on that day, spike on that day, kind of not really spiking today, but just moving a little bit. So we're just trading with inside of this narrow space here. And as long as key support isn't taken out, we should be good. And this will probably end up being another buying opportunity. All right, so just monitoring that right now on the Bitcoin. All right, if we take a look now at Ethereum. All right, here's Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum kind of sideways moving too. This one is a little bit harder to see. because if you take a look at the chart here, you'll notice that we are moving and just trading inside of this green bar here. So the trading range has been established, which is this bar here, and the price action, look at the body of the candles, they're staying within this zone. So we're establishing sideways trading patterns in multiple asset classes today. So here's your Ethereum, just moving sideways here, not really taking out any key supports and not breaking out above any key resistance zones either. We spiked on it, but unless we close above it, then that doesn't count. So it'll just end up, depending on how we move, it could end up being a bullish pointer, or it could be another sideways trading range pattern being established inside of this bar here. So looking for sideways to slightly higher prices in the in the Ethereum as well. Now let's take a look at XRP Ripple real quick. All right, so here's your Ripple. Here's what it's doing here. By the way, I'm using daily bars, by the way. So Ripple is breaking out, which is exactly what we want to see. As you can see here, maintaining those long positions there and that as well. All right, got to keep it pushing. You got to do what you got to do. So far, it's returning an 18% rate of return today, which is really nice. Got to keep that going. Keep that going. I think we're going to try to take out this 110 area up here, probably get to maybe 120. So the XRP Ripple is looking nice, doing exactly what we anticipated that it would do today. What about DOT? Let's take a look at that DOT. All right, DOT is moving in the opposite direction. Not really wanting to see the pullback that we're getting here, but we're not taking any key supports out just yet. But this could possibly end up being a top. Let me just take a look at something real quick so I don't quote you wrong here. All right, DOT. Okay, DOT also had a crash alert this morning. Also had a crash alert. So let me see if we're getting any downward rhythm yet. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, we're not. No, we're not. Okay. Let me take another look here. It looks like we may have clipped it. Hold on. May have clipped it. Let me just double check one more time. All right. Yep, looks like it got clipped. So it looks like on this initial sell-off, it looks like it triggered and then it has come right back up again. So we'll in situations like this, we're not on the sidelines coming up to all this. We're long this. So if anything, longs would have been stopped out this morning at that price there. You wouldn't necessarily look to short, but if you do, then what the play is going to be. It all depends on how these markets close, and since the cryptos don't technically close, we look at that between 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard New York time on a daily basis. That is our closing range because that's how they do their calculations. I didn't make it up. It's just how the markets do. So depending on where we are around that time frame this evening, that'll let us know if we can expect for key supports to start getting filled. And are we going to see either a 50% retracement down to the 37 handle, or that 61, 62% retracement down to maybe the 32 handle? So this is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, on the DOT. All right, so just looking at this DOT, we're going to see what happens, but we are watching it. We got our eyes on it. And now let's go take a look at the theta real quick. All right, so theta has been really flat this morning. It's moving several days sideways. So you got all these multiple sideways days going on, all types of pointers all over the place. When you get these pointers all over the place, you're establishing trading ranges. If you were just to look at these few bars right here, you will be confused. If you want to see the truth of what's happening in the theta, you go to this bar right here. This is the trading range bar right here. This bar is what we're doing. We're trading within this bar for the foreseeable future. All right. This is your trading range. Until we either break down out of it or break out above it, the theta is going nowhere. Okay. Theta is going nowhere. I'm still watching it for possibilities, but it's really not giving me any rhythm. All right. Not giving up any rhythm. All right. So here's the Bitcoin one more again before we move on. Still trading within its sideways pattern as well. So we got a lot of things that we watch and we look at, man. You know, we make it do what it do over here. So this is what I'm really focusing on more than anything. Of course, there's a plethora of news. The news sometimes gets boring to me because I want to talk about other things. I want to look at these markets. I want to see what's good with that. But they keep pushing and pushing and pushing the buttons so that you can react because they want your mind focused on that. And me, I haven't been watching it at all. I just been keeping it on Bloomberg, and that's it. That's all I need to look at right now. I don't care about all the other happenings. I care about these markets right now. So that's what I'm doing because there's just so much. Let's see here. Give me just a second. All right. So as far as markets are concerned, all right, we got the bond futures up almost a full point right now. So, you know, when the bond prices rise, the yields fall. And that's all it is to it. There's nothing, excuse me, that they can do about it as long as the bond market continues to collapse, man. All right, let's see here. Biden appears to waver on promise to strengthen Iran nuclear deal. Yeah. Let's see. Ron Paul is asking, why is the Biden administration pushing Ukraine to attack Russia? Right now, I can tell you the crude oil market doesn't really care. Crude oil futures are up 92 cents to $59.57 after dipping to 58.62. Doesn't care. But how about this? Fifth Avenue landlords are owed about $200 million in unpaid rent. Wow. That's a lot of money. Let's see. Then we got the IMF and the World Bank, who pay no taxes, by the way, are about to talk about tax hikes. They want to raise your taxes, but they pay none. Also, your boy Dr. Fauci can't explain why Texas COVID cases keep dropping despite reopening. He has nothing to say there. I thought the science was settled, sir. I thought you being the brainiac Dr. House, Dr. Fauci House, I thought that what you said was law, was the finality of the thing, the whole concern of the matter. I don't get it. Can you explain it? Like I said, you have to really now take on a second job. Your second job is to decipher any news that you hear. We talked about that yesterday. We're living in a world now where you have to decipher the news and you have to question everything. Is this a real story? And if it is a real story, is it being stretched? Is it being curved? Is it being spun out of context? Then you got to ask yourself a question, okay, if this is a real physical thing that's going on. Is it a real event that happened organically? Or is this a crisis acting event? Is this a drill? Is this a, a Manchurian candidate? There's a host of questions and checklists you got to do when you're watching the news now. It's just unfortunate, but it's what it is. Let's see here. Most of the news is all relating back to the COVID. And of course, they're concerned that semi-chip prices expected to rise through all of 2021. They claim they can't get chips. It's hard for them to get the materials to manufacture the chips. So people who need the chips can't get the chips. Yeah, whatever. Like I said, before all this kicked off, I told you to look out for manufactured shortages. Shortages are when human beings create them. There's a big difference between shortage and scarcity. Scarcity appears in reality, in nature, where there is inequality, the word that people hate. There is inequality in nature. There is inequality in reality. Reality says we live in a world of scarcity, all right, where you cannot expect to have things in an overabundance all the time. Things are scarce. There's only so much gold in the ground. There's only so much silver in the ground. There's only so much oil in the ground. And that's it. All right, that's it. So that's why we have economics, because of scarcity. But now we're having shortages. Shortages is a man-made thing. It is not organic. It is not organic. Okay? Need to talk about that. This is because of those lockdowns. They crippled the world economy. And they did it on purpose. So you have to ask yourself a question. I wonder why that is. Why did they do it? The same reason why they allowed the Archegos situation to happen. And that's why Credit Suisse is in trouble. Another hedge fund blowing up. Hedge funds blowing up is the norm. And you need to understand that. That's always going to be, because they're always going to have things that they take advantage of. Okay? You need to understand that. And of course, you've heard in the news that France is, locking down again. But then there's live video footage of the French elite caught violating their own lockdown rules by attending secret restaurants. Posh dinners at a cost of 490 euros per head, as the rest of Paris struggles under the lockdown. This is proof that everything about the COVID is bunk. That's right. This is the world that they have turned upside down, topsy-turvy. Just like the teen carjackers are going to get away with murder. The teen girls who killed the Uber Eats driver in D.C. get a slap on the wrist plea deal. Yep. This is what it's like living in the upside down. We are living in the upside down. Wrong is right and right is wrong. Holiness and godliness is illegal. Sin and depravity is illegal. This is the world that we have woken up to. Yeah, it's getting kind of dark. All right, or like your boy, Chill Rob G. It's getting kind of hectic. That's what we are. It's getting kind of hectic. There's nothing else to do, fam, except for Keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind in these markets, man. You got to mind your money in these markets. You got to do that. You got to do that. Aside from that, none of this other stuff matters. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's all doom and gloom. But no one really knows exactly, specifically, how it's all going to play out. Once again, no one really knows exactly, specifically, how it's all going to play out. We know that 1 + 1 = 2, but we understand too that 1 + 1 does not always equal 2. 1 + 1 could be a Trojan horse. One could have 400 inside of it, and the other one could have none inside of it. Does 1 + 1 = 2 now? No, it does not. So, our reality as we know it has been turned upside down on its head. Are you ready for what's coming? We know that winter is coming. And when it arrives, will you be ready? That is the million-dollar question. How many people are going to get caught flat-footed when winter comes? You have to be mindful of things that you normally would never have to be mindful of because we're living in the upside down now. All right? It is what it is. It is what it is. And you are wrong, my main man, in the live chat. You just took that out of context. The accumulation of wealth is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and mammon, which means money. All right. We're not to pursue the world. All right. But there is nothing sinful or wrong about being well off financially, because the more people that are well off financially and financially independent of the government, then you can help more people. It takes money to do anything in this world. Even in the early New Testament saints, they had to take up a collection for the church in Jerusalem that was struggling. If money was evil and wicked, then Jesus would not have performed the miracle with the money inside of the fish to pay the tax that was due. We know that Yahweh is the owner of all things material and immaterial. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. All right, so he is the true landlord. So is all of his people going to be wealthy? Of course not. The Bible says labor not to be rich. In other words, we don't work for the sole purpose. We don't labor for the sole purpose of financial gain. We work as unto the Lord. We do all that we do as unto the Lord, knowing that when you close your eyes and you leave this world, you will be judged. All right? Christians are not judged the same way that those who are lost will be judged. Those who are lost are going to be judged at the great white throne judgment. Those that belong to the Most High God will be judged based on the gifts, aka the talents that were given them. What did you do with the talents and gifts that the Lord gave you? Were you faithful in administering those things? We are stewards, and nothing else. God owns everything. If God were to bless you with $1 million today, it's not yours, it's his. God reserves the right to put in your hand and take out of your hand whatever he deems fit. We call that providence. That's why some are not rich. Everyone's not going to be rich. There are many godly people in the Bible, both Old Testament and New Testament saints, who were wealthy and who ministered to the needs of the people. There was a lady, I forget her name, in the New Testament that was a manufacturer of purple, which was very expensive fish, whatever that you needed to get to do that. And she was very wealthy, and the saints met at her house on a regular basis. All right. Don't forget, there was another wealthy individual who paid for the tomb that Jesus' body was laid in. All right. That was donated by a wealthy individual. Father Abraham also was wealthy. So was Job. So wealth in and of itself is not sinful. It's the love of money. When you put your faith and your trust in money and not in the Most High God, that is where the sin lies. You know where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Jesus said that. How do you know where your treasure in your heart really is? Because the Lord will test you when it comes to money. Money is one of the biggest litmus tests of a person's faithfulness to God. And he does it in myriads of ways. You can be tested by being blessed with a lot of money to see exactly what will you do with it. To some people, being blessed with a lot of money per se is not a blessing, it's a curse, it's a judgment. Did you know that? Wealth can also be a judgment against you and lead to your demise. All right? Just as there is no piety or righteousness in being poor. Okay? Because you're poor does not make you godly or more holier than the person who is wealthy. To whom much is given, much is required. Remember that. So what are you doing with the gifts that you've been given? Because the rewards are outside of time and for all eternity. God's people will be given rewards. They'll be judged based on the merits in this life. Your eternal rewards, not heaven, not salvation, but those gifts, those rewards that will be given in heaven. All right. Jesus taught to lay up treasures in heaven, not on this earth, where moth and rust and decay and thieves can take it away. We've seen plenty examples of that over the last few years where people's wallets and stuff, crypto wallets, have been stolen. People have lost Bitcoins and other coins, and exchanges have been hacked and brought down. So yeah, it can happen. Okay. You don't want to focus and put all of your trust and hope in anything but the Lord. That's what it boiled down to. That's what it boiled down to. All right. You cannot love money. You cannot love money. Yes, you make money. Doing good business brings consequences. One of the consequences of doing good business is that you will gain wealth. You will gain money. Being a good steward over what the Lord has given you can also cause you to increase. All right. But we don't labor for the sole purpose of money in and of itself. And that's where people fall into error and they get in trouble. All right. So I got to let you know that. All right. These are facts. We don't have to like it, but we got to do it. Okay. Got to break it down. Love not the world. Does it mean the physical planet Earth? It means the world system, the ungodly system that is run by Satan. We are not to be part of the system. We are in the world, but not of the world. We do not think as the world thinks, and we do not act as the world acts. There is a difference. There's a difference. Doing good works will not save you because there's no good in you. We are saved unto good works, not saved because of good works. There is a difference. Okay? It is what it is. And I think that's where we need to know. We need to know the truth about things. You know, the markets reveal a lot of these spiritual truths to the individual. Trading will show you who you really are on the inside. When it comes to these markets and approaching the markets, you have to really understand the mechanisms and how they work. And the markets work a certain way and have repeatable patterns because it's made up of people. It's made up of individuals. And as human beings, we are creatures of habit. And because of that, there are certain gauges that can be used for the trader to benefit and put the odds of profitability in your court. That is the awesome aspect of trading these markets. That's why we trade these markets, for that reason. Pretty fly, right? It is when you think about it. It is pretty fly when you think about it. That's why we engage in this commerce. We do that for a reason. All right. So just some things to think about today. You know, as you go about your day, there's things to think about. You know, we're supposed to be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. You're supposed to not be ignorant to Satan's devices. So we know when we look at the news headlines of the day, we know what's going on. You do need to be aware of what's going on so that you know how to move. And so you know how to pray effectively as well. All right. So at the end of the day, you want to be good stewards of that which God has given you. And you also want to be in a position where you can help, encourage, and uplift the body of Christ, because that's what we're called to do. All right. So this is where we are. Okay. Yeah, you know, I was looking at XRP, man. It's a good question. You know, it's a good question. Coming into today, it's like it did when we were looking at the chart when we first started this this live. We looked at the chart, and right now, like I said, key supports haven't been taken out just yet. Let's just take another quick look while we're here before we wrap this up. We'll take another quick look at the XRP. Yeah, it's looking nice and strong. It's looking real strong. You gotta like that. You gotta like that performance. You gotta like that performance on the XRP. We'll see, man. I mean, we'll see. I like the way it's moving so far, and we're a long way from the key support zones. You know, really getting a lot of lift off and pulling away, and that's a good thing. I want to see it close above 95 today. If we can close above 95 on that Ripple, that would be good. So, you know, by 6 o'clock p.m., we'll say by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard New York time, if it's above 95, that's a really good look. And that means that we're going to really see some momentum really start to pull away here as the market pulls away. So very, very interesting, you know? Very interesting, folks. That's why I say, man, you need these pulse waves, man, like never before so you can understand what's going on. Now, coming into today, we had continuation bullish patterns for EOS, Ethereum, Theta, and XRP, Ripple, and Bitcoin, okay? But we had a crash alert on the dot. So I think that's why we've seen that that kind of movement that we've been seeing in DOT because of the crash alert. So I'm not really, you know, surprised to see it. You know what I mean? Not surprised at all. So we'll see. We're gonna see what happens, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I say closes are the most important aspect of the day. It matters not what a market does during the trading session. It matters how it closes. Doesn't even matter how it opens. It matters how it closes. A market's close tells you a lot of information. You know, it gives you what you need to understand about the price action and what you can expect going forward. Obviously, there's something wrong. If a market gaps up on the open, real huge, but then on the close, you're deep in the negative, deep in the red. That's telling you everything you need to know right there, and vice versa. So we look for stuff like that. So I'll see what I pick up when I run the algos this evening. I'll see if we pick up any clues in the price action. But for right now, you know, you gotta stay long and strong. Ethereum, the Theta, the XRP, Ripple, Bitcoin. Right now, it's just long and strong. You're gonna get that volatility. With Bitcoin, it's not uncommon for some days where we see a 4-point range. So you may have the high of 59,000 and the low of 56,000. All right, so that 3-point range, and when I say point, I really mean, you know, by thousands, counting by thousands. So you got a 3,000 point range. So a 3 to 4 point range in the Bitcoin is not uncommon. All right, that's an average. So that's a lot to work with. That's a lot of air and back and forth and volleying for position. So you should not be overly concerned about that aspect when you see that. That's just how the markets are moving. That's just simply put, it's just how the markets are moving. All right, what else? What else? I think we pretty much covered it. Yeah, you know, that's the debate, man. You know, is the stock market about to crash? Is gold and silver finally going to get its chance to move and rally? I got to tell you, you know, until we see confirmation of that, I got to say no. I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest. All right. All cards on the table. I was looking for the stock market to really pull back today off these new highs. You know, like a sharp, not like, you know, crashing, but, you know, a significant pullback. We didn't get it. We're getting a tight trading range, barely any movement at all. So that came as a bit of a surprise. But it's going to come out of the blue. I think it's going to be an intraday phenomenon. We'll be moving about our business. The market will be doing what it's doing. And then just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, bam, that's when it's going to happen. That's what I think we're going to see. Truth be told, I think that's how it's going to manifest itself. I really believe that. I really believe that's how it's going to manifest itself. So that catch as many people by surprise as possible. So I think that's where we're heading. It's going to be an intraday thing. That's why I have the intraday price inflection points listed on the PulseWave reports, because there's always that chance that for whatever reason, the market tops out on you without a crash alert. What are you to do in a situation like that? You trade and going about your business, and now all of a sudden the market's giving it up. Do you panic? Nope, not if you know where the intraday price inflection points are. As long as those aren't triggered, then you know I'm staying put. I'm chilling. I don't have to move. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing until we see those situations. Then when the situations pop off, that's when you say, okay, arrivederci, I'm out of here. That was my sign. That was my signal. I'm out. Peace. You know what I mean? So that's just, again, something to consider. Not saying you have to consider it. Not saying that, it's law or nothing like that. Just, again, something to be mindful of. That's all I'm saying. This, at the end of the day, is just something, your takeaway from all of it. This is your takeaway. Your takeaway from it is, okay, as long as I don't see any key support or resistance zones get taken out, I don't have to act. And that's what this is for. It's letting you know, when should I be concerned? When do I need to take action? Should I look at this, or should I not be concerned about it? And that's a daily thing. People want to know, when they start seeing little sparks flying, is there something behind this? Is this something I need to take notice of? And that's why you got those intraday price inflection points listed on the reports. It lets you know, and it says, if you see this or that, then do this or do that. That's what it's telling you. Okay, so that's what it's about. Okay, all right. Hey, you know what? When we're done with this, I think you can go in to the end of day PulseWave report, and in the live you can type comments even before the thing starts. So you can, when we're done here, you can go and you can remind me of that. Go ahead and type that for me, and I'll do it. I'll look at the 50-day and the 200. Just tell me which charts you want to do that deeper look at, and I can do that. Okay, no problem. I got you. Yeah. So that's, again, the market at the end of the day is going to do whatever it does. My job is just to educate you to those facts and then give you the tools that you need so that you can respond. Because there's nothing worse than being in a situation where you cannot respond. The market's whooping your behind and you can't respond. There's nothing worse than that, fam. Nothing worse than that. So I'm going to make sure that before it's all said and done, you're going to be in a position where you can respond. Okay. All right, man. I think I've pretty much worn out my welcome. I think I've said everything I need to say for today. I just really wanted to encourage you more than anything. You know what I mean? That's what I really wanted to do. Just encourage you. It's difficult times, man. I mean, that's just keep it 100. Just keeping it 100 with you. It's difficult times, and we know this. Okay, it's difficult times. So what we have to do in difficult times is be armed with the truth, be armed with the tools that are going to help us, at the end of the day. And that's my job. That's where I come in with the PulseWave reports. I make sure that you cover it so that if something crazy, jumps off in the stock market, or something crazy jumps off in the crypto market, what do you do? How do you respond? Should you even respond? Is there anything for you to really be concerned about? That's where I come in. That's what I do. I show you if and where you need to start being concerned about a market. You know what I'm saying? That, at the end of the day, is what it really boils down to. Other than that, nothing really matters. Not at the end of the day. All right. So we're gonna look and see how we close. I used to say concerning 589 XRP. It was put in an episode of The Simpsons when Bart writes it on a blackboard. They give you strange alerts with their religion. Yeah, man. Yeah. I have to admit, yeah. Markets talk, numbers talk. They speak. They do speak. I definitely right there with you on that one. And we'd be foolish not to take note of it, not to watch it, not to see that. So yeah, I'm watching it. Like I said, I'm trading with the trends. Whether the trend lasts a day, a week, a month, a year, doesn't matter. I am looking to get alongside the trend. And that's what the report tells you. It lets you know what you're trading. Are you counter trend trading on this session? Are you trading with the trend on this session? Has the market possibly topped out? Has it possibly bottomed out? Where's your next play? And that's what it is. Managing money is serious business, folks. And that's really all trading is. Trading is managing your money. Trading is being a good steward over the money that you have. Trading is being a good steward over your savings. All right. Everyone should be saving money. Every time you get paid, every time you get a piece of money in your hand, you should pay yourself 10%. And that 10% you put and you save it and you build it up. And once you get a nice little piece, that becomes your risk capital for your investment / trading. All right. You don't just park your money in a savings account or park your money in a CD. That is not good stewardship. That's lazy. And you're going to harm yourself by doing that. Well, I'm risk averse. I don't want to lose any of my principal. Well, yeah, but you don't understand. By doing that, you are losing your principal because you're not keeping up with the compound interest and you're not keeping up with the cost of inflation. So if you were to put $100 in your savings account in 1929 and then look at how much money you would have today, you would be shocked at how little money you would have today. But if you took that same $100 and put it in the stock market in 1929 and never touched it, today you would be very happy with your rate of return. So as stewards, we don't have a choice but to manage this money. And we're looking for the greatest return possible with as minimal of risk as possible. We cannot totally avoid risk. All right. Risk avoidance, there's no such of a thing. But what we can do is we can follow these markets and make it do what it do, man. So that's what we're doing over here. We are following and we're monitoring so that we know what to do. And we're looking for clues and signals that may lead us to, the next thing that we need to be concerned with. All right. So with all that being said, man, you know what it is. Smash that like button. Remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.